So now our meeting is getting recorded. So this is for your information. So I have prepared a small presentation to give a brief idea about the programming. And this session is aimed at those attendees which have almost no knowledge about the programming. So they have never done any OpenStat programming or any of the VBA programming. So that is those attendees are the focus for this particular session. So we will move on to our first slide. So while doing any program, what general steps we are going to follow. So we will quickly look at those steps which we generally follow for any type of program. So the first step is nothing but to define the objective. So for example, the defining of the objective might be the user has to generate a load combination syntax to be written in stat, or the user has to find out the column effective length factors. So all those complex items which will take a lot of time for manual calculation. So that objective the user has to decide first. So for what purpose he has to write the program. One of the objective might be to transfer the pipe support loads into STAD, or to design the foundations, isolated footings, mat footings, whatever. So once the objective is decided, the next step that will come is what inputs are required from the user. What inputs are required, and the input requirement will come either from the end user, or some of the input will we are going to extract from STAD file. So what type of input we are going to extract from STAD file? For example, we want to design foundations. Then the user will need the support reactions to be extracted. So every type of objective will require another different type of input requirement. Either the input will be required from the user, or the input will be taken from the STAD file. So this is the next step. So you can go through for the transfer of pipe supports, we will need the coordinates and the pipe support loads. For the column effective lengths, we will require the length of the column and the properties of the beam column at the beam column junction. So these are the inputs which are required by the user. The next step is how to extract the information from STAD. So here the programming will start. So some of the efforts the user has to give for writing a small few lines of codes which will extract the reactions from STAD. So if we want to design suppose foundation design, then our STAD file should be ready with our run, and the input from STAD to be extracted will be the support reactions. Okay. So for that, we have OpenSTAD programming, which is provided by STAD, and the programming language at present the STAD is allowing us is VBA, C++, and C hash. So out of these three languages, we can use any language, and we can extract the information which we require from the STAD. And the final stage is how to achieve the final objective, which we have in the first step, we have defined our objective. So now we have to process the inputs which we have derived from STAD, and then we have to arrive at our final goal. So there, what is required is to develop an algorithm. If the program is quite complex, then it is always advisable to have an algorithm or a flow chart which will define the steps which the programmer is going to take. And once that flow chart is available with the user, it will be very easy to program. Then we will move on to the next part. Then we are going to see how much effort wise percentage is required for all these four steps. So the effort wise look, effort is required mainly for this red highlighted these two parts, the extracting the input from STAD and the final processing of the final processing for our objective. So there, the effort wise weightage, if I can tell you very roughly, is we can say 10% efforts are required for defining our objective. 10% efforts will be required for extracting or gathering the information, uh, ascertaining what code we have to refer, taking the reactions from stat file or whatever parameters, reaction, whatever input we are needing from stat file. To get that, we will have to spend 10% of our efforts. How to extract from stat will take another 10% effort, because that is quite easy. Already the programs are there in OpenStat that what we say, that lines of codes we have to just copy into VBA and then we can extract the information from stat. So main 70% of the efforts will be required to process the data. So for this, we have to know, we have to have the flowchart with us, and our objective should be clear, and what way we are going to uh, uh, process the data. So that we will see in the further slides. So right now, what we are doing, we are using VBA. So if anybody wants to go into C++, or C hash, he can get the information from Google or YouTube. So right now, our presentation will be about VBA. So VBA stands for Visual Basic for Applications. So that is the full form for Visual Basic Application. So we will see how the VBA screen or coding screen look like and how to start programming with VBA. So the first step is VBA. So I will show you how to. So this is our Excel file. Once we open our Excel file, generally, most of the people, those who don't do programming, so this developer tab you can see here, that will not be there. So first step is to show this developers tab onto our Excel spreadsheet. So how to switch on this developer tab? So this developer tab, for this developer tab, you can go to file options, and you can find here customize ribbon. So in customize ribbon, most for your case, this developer ribbon will not be checked. So if this is not checked, then this tab will not be visible. So the first step is to check out this developer tab, press OK. So this developer tab will look like this. In developer tab, you will find so many buttons over here. So right now, whatever programming till date I have done, I have never went to all these buttons. So right now I am only using this view code. So this is the window. It looks here in the right hand side, white color window, we have to enter our code. The left hand side is a project window where we can have we can insert user form, module, class module. So what is user form, what is module, what is class module? We will not go into that detail, because even I am not using all these whatever user form or module I am using. This class module and procedure, everybody procedure is the nothing but whatever the program is called as a subroutine. So that is a procedure everyone is using. So that is very normal case. But these user form and class modules, so even I am not have gone deep into those two things. So as a homework, you can go into this, and if you maybe more complex programs might need these type of applications to be used. But as far as our job is concerned, so whatever programs we are going to write, that are going to start with sub as a function. So you can name the program whatever you want. So if you write sub XYZ here, automatically the uh, VBA will add this line ends up. So between this sub line and the end line, our program will be written. So we can write the program into our Excel sheet. So this is sheet 1 and sheet 2 is nothing but the worksheets available on our in our Excel file. Otherwise, we can write separate models here. So I have already written few programs here to for your illustration. So quickly, one by one, I will show you how the programs are written. I will take up very simple examples. If you have any query, you can unmute and you can ask. So I have covered how to display a developer tab. I have also shown you where the microcode is written. So in the white window on to the right hand side, we are going to write the window. Where is the property window, that also I have shown. Right now I will not go into what is the property window at this point. It is not required to go into such details. And whatever options till date I have not used for programming. So these are the things which I have highlighted in red. If you want, you can go, this is for your homework, you can go into these, you can deep dive into this, and if you study all these things, it will help you to generate more rigorous or more robust programs. But till now, whatever I am managing these, whatever programming I am doing, I am managing without knowing these two controls. Okay. What are the different data types? Data types are nothing but whatever values or whatever. Suppose a pipe support number is a string, so it is a string type data. So it is not a numerical data. Node number is the what are the node numbers? Node numbers are 1, 2, or 3. These are integers. So the node number is an integer type data. Coordinate will be like into decimals, 100.101, 100.201. So those data types are called as double type data. So if you go and Google, you will get all the data types that is available readily. So that is not that difficult. Okay. So while writing any code in VBA, like we prepare a stat file. So in stat file we have an asterisk mark. So when we give an asterisk mark, it is meant for adding a comment for the user. So user need not remember for what purpose the following code is written. So same way, instead of asterisk marks in stat for VBA, we have a single quote. So whatever line is starting, whichever line is starting with single quote, what the VBA program will do, the VBA program will simply ignore that line and switch to the next line. So this comment line will help us to debug the program. So whatever code you are going to write, the user should be aware at the time of programming. The user is aware of the program, what he is writing the code. But after, if he revisits the program after 2 months or 3 months for writing any additional code or improvising that code, then at that time he may not understand or he may not recollect what a particular if loop or for loop is he has created. So for that, he can add a comment starting with this single quote, and then it will be easier for him to revisit the program code in future. We'll move on to the next slide. So now we are going to write a program, first program with VBA, and we will take a very simple program. So how to display a message box, because this displaying a message box is an integral part of any program. whether the programmer is very new or whether the programmer is very experienced, the message box we have to display every now and then. So message box, there are four ways the message box can be displayed. We can display the data in a sentence in a separate message box, one after the other. Or if we have two sentences, we can show the two sentences in continuation to one another, and each sentence as a separate line but in the same message box. So we will see one by one what are these two, how to display a message box with these four types. I have already written a program, so I will display. So first is the display message box type 1. So here what I have done, I have started writing the program with by defining this subroutine. So this sub is nothing but subroutine, and this is the standard syntax to have a two brackets over here after writing the name of the macro. So here the user can give any name, but we have to make sure that the program name should not be a name which will be coinciding with one of the syntax which is used in VBA. So other than the predefined syntax by VBA, we can use any name as the name of the program. So for running the program, so this program has started here and the end sub is over here. And we have to display these two lines, hello Praveen Agashe, and you don't have access to this program. So how to display these two lines? So for running this program, go to run, keep the cursor at the start of the this subroutine, and in one page you can write any number of subroutines one after the other. So what the program will do after every end sub, if when the user will start with a new sub means the program or macro. So after every end sub, if a new macro is started, it will simply draw a horizontal line to differentiate between one macro from another. So right now we are running this particular macro. So we have put the cursor over here, go to run, and here we can press F5 or we can click on this. So we will see here what the message is getting displayed. So this is the message, hello Praveen Agashe. So hello Praveen Agashe is the first sentence, and the first sentence is displayed in a separate message box. And the second sentence, you don't have access to this program, will be followed after this. So if I click OK here, the next window has happened. You don't have access to this program. So this is one way to show the message box. What is the another way? Another way that is that we have to show these two lines one after the other in the same message box. So here is the code for the same. These files and these presentations I will be separately mailing to you. So don't uh, take any notes or just concentrate on here. So we will go to second sub and then we will run this program. So now you can see the same two lines are here, but this message box is into double inverted commas. The first sentence is there, one space is there, and ampersand sign is there, and again into two inverted commas we have the next sentence. So in this way, this particular message box is combining the two sentences into same message box. Another way is to type 3. Type 3 and type 1 is actually the same. By mistake it has happened the same. So I will directly move on to let me check whether it is same. No. So it is type 3 and type 1 by mistake, it has been the same. So right now I will not take up this macro number 3. We will move on to macro number 4, where we have to display the two sentences with one gap in between. So if we want to place a one gap in between two sentences, so this is the way we are going to proceed. Um, so now you can see the two sentences are displayed in the same message box, but as we wanted to have a one line empty in between these two sentences, so the program has displayed us the first line here, and because of this particular what we say command or code, the program has left one line in between and the second line is displayed at the bottom. So this way, there are number of ways to display the message box, the multiple ways of displaying the messages. So this information is very readily available on Google. You can visit there and you can try these programs after the end of this session. Now, this one more thing I wanted to add here is, uh, once you write a particular program, then as far as possible, do not, while preparing the another program, do not try to type these codes by your on your own, because these capital and small, if you type on your own, then it is likely to happen. So some mistake might happen and the code will not run. So these type of codes are very difficult to remember. And as what practice I am doing is, once I write a program once, so I am copying the same code into another program and I'm just changing this particular sentence, whatever I have to use for the new program. So as far as possible, try to avoid typing any code. Now, the second example is, so these three types we have seen. The third type we will see, or we will see in some other session. To delete duplicate entries in a column. So this is one more program how to write. This meeting will end. In case this meeting ends, I will arrange a new invite for another 40 minutes after a gap of 10 minutes. Okay. So to delete the duplicate entries in a column, now you can see here, uh, Control C, Control V. Now you can see here there is a column number. In first column we have few entries and we wish to write a program to delete the duplicate entries into this from this column. So if you start writing a code, it will be very difficult at this stage to find the duplicate. So as far as possible, use the inbuilt functionality in the what we say, use the inbuilt functionality that is already there in the Excel. So what is the inbuilt, how to use the inbuilt functionality? What I used to do is record a macro. Okay. So now my task is to remove the duplicates. So what I will do here, I will start record macro button, give any name, click OK, select the column, go to data, and already here remove duplicates is function is already there. So type remove duplicates, click OK. Duplicate values are removed and 12 unique values remain. So click OK. After you finish your task, don't forget to stop the recording. Stop the recording. If you stop this macro, then you go to developer tab, view code. Here you can find this particular macro. So the Excel function itself has written the program for you for deleting the what we say duplicate entries. So as far as possible, try to use the inbuilt functionalities. It is not every time you can use this inbuilt functionality. At sometimes you have to follow your own loop, for loop or if loop, to find out the duplicate values. But time being, as a fresher, try to generate the code which is try to learn the code which is generated by Excel itself. So here you will get come to know what should be the syntax to select the columns. So this select column syntax you can use in any other code, that will be the same. How to remove duplicates? For that, the Excel has written such a big syntax. It is very difficult to remember such syntax, such a long syntax. So as far as possible, for all small items, you keep one particular file ready, and just when you write a big program, take out these commands from that saved file and use them. Okay. So so that completes one of the what we say, one of the macro for one of the tasks. What is the task? Next is, yes, oh, one of the issue people are facing, how to exit from an infinite loop or an endless program. So I have found that in the below link, so that I can illustrate you. While writing a program, inadvertently it happens that we enter into an endless loop. So that loop never ends. So how to stop that loop? This might happen with a newcomer also, a fresh person also, and very experienced person also. So for that, yes. So this is the infinite loop. For I have started with sub. I have declared x as 0, and what I am asking for the program is, until x is equal to 2, don't end the loop. And I am defining x as 1. So when I have already defined x as 1, it is never going to become as x is equal to 2. So this loop, in reality, it will not end. So just try to run this program. So this program will keep on running infinitely. So how to stop this? The simplest option is to press escape. So once you press escape, it will ask either to debug. If you debug, you will get into this particular window and you can edit the macro, or you can simply end. So with this way you can end an infinite loop. The second option is to press the control plus break. So this control plus break functionality will be different for different laptop makes. So right now I am having Dell laptop, so I am right now I am not knowing what functionality is there for my Dell laptop, so that I cannot illustrate you now. And the third option, very simple option, is to press Control Alt Delete and end the Excel application from the taskbar. So with this, we have completed a few examples from which are purely from VBA. Right now, we have not gone into OpenStat. So I think if you have any queries right now for the left out time, we can discuss that. Then immediately after 10 minutes, I will put another invite. That will not last long because now almost whatever the slides I have to cover, that almost I have completed. So any participant has any query, you can raise. Hello, are you able to hear all?
Yes.
So I don't know how much time is left now.
I think it is 2 minutes. It is showing on
Okay, so here,
screen.
where it is showing?
Yeah. In our this Windows, it is showing. I don't know in yours.
Okay, in
On
your
Zoom tab,
window
you
it
can
is
go to.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, so what I will do, I will end this meeting here itself, because in 2 minutes we are not going to do, we cannot complete anything. So within 10 minutes, after 10 minutes, I'm going to give another invite of 40 minutes. Okay. So can I end this meeting here?
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.